So here's the last dream in the series. Remember, this was originally dictated into an iPhone in the middle of the night in Korea. This dream is high-end narrative, like one of those top-of-the-line streaming services with sophisticated characters and clever plot lines, except I'm starring, and I have full-blown Alzheimer's. It takes place in the American South. The black folks in the community seem to be looking after me. They're great, sympathetic, understanding, and present. But the white folks around me are just disdainful of my situation and kind of torturing me. I'm in a bed in this big open shelter, almost like a barn out in the country. A brooding sense of doom overlays everything. I'm looking for my clothes. Louise isn't there to help, and I can't find them, so I'm wandering around naked. Next thing, I'm in this elegant social occasion with all these rich white people, and they're just laughing at my naked self. I know I need help, but they just think I'm crazy and a source of entertainment. And then, when I start turning belligerent, shouting, "For God's sake, help me!" or words to that effect, they just taunt me, escalating things. It's a play, and I'm cast as the doddering old fool. I'm being poked and tripped. I'm trying to escape their clutches, but I just can't. Later, I'm out in a field next to a watery ditch in the country. It's dark and I'm surrounded by a gang of rednecks, like in a bad movie. They're older guys, not much younger than me, and they're all drunk, and they seem to be planning to kill me. They've got this heavy crankcase from a car, and they're angling to weigh me down with it and drown me in the ditch. The first guy grabs me and I fight back. I grab his crotch and he falls into the ditch yelling. Then the next guy's coming at me with the crankcase. "George, we're just gonna have to take you out, man." But the whole thing evolves like a macabre dance. They're laughing and messing about, and permeating it all is the seeming inevitability of my pending death. Now, it's a brilliant story, riveting TV series, except I'm in it. Help! Then the alarm in Louise's phone goes off and wakes both of us up, for real. So at 4 a.m., I'm sat in this bathroom in Seoul, South Korea, dictating this. Subsequently, I've had time to reflect on these dreams and to talk to others. My therapist, who's a specialist in elder care, said, yeah, other people have described similar experiences, and my neurologist concurred. But I'm curious to hear from others of this phenomenon. If you've experienced anything like this, let us know. I have found reports that older people having recurrent troubling dreams or nightmares may be an indicator for Alzheimer's, and Lewy body dementia is cited as a condition where people might indeed experience such dreams. In conclusion, it's not surprising that older people's dreams reflect the concerns we're dealing with. But I'm not pessimistic. Although I awoke suitably terrified, I've been able to see it now in a positive light. My subconscious was weighing in, trying to help process perhaps unspoken thoughts. That's what's supposed to happen. Ultimately, I feel strengthened by the experience. I don't anticipate a repeat performance, but if it happens, you know where to hear about it. Last week, I came back from advocating for people living with dementia at the Alzheimer's Impact Movement Forum in Washington, D.C. There's a lot to report. I went to the meeting with questions and I came back with answers. The forum was a remarkable experience, and after 2.5 days of intense interaction and conversation, I felt part of a community, a movement, if you will. Over 1,100 people came together from every state to meet with their elected representatives in the nation's capital. It was a powerful experience. I realized that as an advocate, sniping from the sidelines was an inadequate response. I needed to advocate forcefully and directly for my concerns, which I intend to do. Once again on this journey, I feel energized by this realization. So what to do? First, I'd like to build the audience for this blog and our YouTube channel. If you find these posts to be of value, chances are you know others who share your values and concerns. Please invite them to check it out and follow us. We're shooting to reach 500 followers by October, and you have the power to make it happen. This modest platform will stand for storytelling, information, innovation, and change. Changing public perception and the prevailing attitude that I'm living in the shadow of a monster. I see my condition as part of life. I recognize that at some point it will end, and to spend my time in fulfilling and productive ways. As we age, we change, and change requires adaptation. Life is a remarkable gift. Treasure it in all its moods. In my mind, I'm not degenerating, I'm changing, and that means I need to adapt, not resign. In the words of C.S. Lewis and Buzz Lightyear, onward and upward, my friends. This week, I want to introduce a friend. Carol Birch Brown is a visual artist and retired art professor. We talked recently about her role as a care partner for her wife. Here's a short excerpt from the conversation. We'll be posting a follow-up here next week and a much longer piece in a month or so on the YouTube channel, so stay tuned.
My name's Carol Birch Brown. I grew up mostly in the South.
How did you guys meet each other?
She came to Virginia Tech around 1992 as the director of the Women's Studies program. And we met each other in that process. I was serving as associate provost at the university during that time. And then we started hanging out together. And then, just one thing led to another, and we just fell madly in love with each other. And she was an artist as well. She was a tap dancer and a really good writer. We were actually together for about 30 years. But then we did get married once it was legal. And at that point, I knew that Anne was going to have dementia. I think I started noticing some changes as much as 10 years before she was actually diagnosed. And she was terrified of having dementia because of her brother's death. One of the very, very hardest parts about the whole experience was that she was never really able to adequately confront it herself and kind of come to terms with it. She resisted. She was in denial until it was too late to really unpack it. She didn't want to talk about it. She got very angry if the conversation got close to that. With the neuropsychological testing, she would get to a point where she just refused to continue. And so they were never able to establish a baseline of what was really going on with her. And it really it just made me so angry. It was really hard to deal with my own anger about this, because I felt like it wasn't fair to me, for one thing. The irony is that Anne was like an incredibly open-minded, open-hearted person. She's the last person you would think would be in this state of denial about something like dementia. You know, she wouldn't. It just is a profound, like, yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand, but this is just the reality, you know, of what happened to her.